The search for the lost colony of Roanoke turns up nothing but tantalizing clues and dead end. John White returned to Roanoke in 1590, expecting to find his daughter and granddaughter. Instead, he found one word carved into a post. For centuries, that clue was ignored. But modern DNA testing and recent excavations have revealed what that word really meant. The colonists didn't flee in panic. They walked away from their English lives on purpose. Archaeological evidence now shows they joined Native American tribes, intermarried, and started new families. The lost colony was never lost. It just became something England could never accept. It all began in April 1584 when Queen Elizabeth gave Sir Walter Raleigh permission to explore and settle new lands across the Atlantic. He sent two captains, Philip Amadis and Arthur Barlow, across the ocean. When they came back that autumn, they described a beautiful place called Roanoke Island. They called it paradise. They said it was full of friendly people and rich land. Some even compared it to the Garden of Eden. The Queen was thrilled. But what they didn't say was that something dark had already started. In 1585, another expedition went back to that land led by Sir Richard Grenville. At one native village, a silver cup went missing. No one could prove who took it. Still, Grenville didn't wait. He ordered his men to burn the entire village and destroy the crops. They burned everything over one cup. That act of revenge poisoned the trust between the English and the native tribes before the colony had even begun. That same year, Raleigh sent a group of about 108 men to settle the island. Their leader was Ralph Lane. They built a small fort and tried to survive, but things went wrong quickly. A shipwreck ruined most of their supplies. They had to rely on the local tribes for food. First things seemed hopeful. Two natives named Montejo and Wanches had even traveled to England before and helped with communication. But by spring of 1586, the settlers were starving. They began raiding nearby villages just to get corn. That destroyed any trust that remained. Chief Winganina, who had once welcomed them, began to resist. His people were dying from strange illnesses, and the English kept demanding more food. Lane knew Winganina was angry and feared an attack, so he came up with a plan. In June 1586, Lane invited Winganina to a peaceful meeting, but it was a trap. The chief arrived. English soldiers opened fire. Winganina was shot and then beheaded. His head was placed on a wooden spike outside the fort as a warning. The betrayal horrified many. Attacks followed. Some claimed that native arrows were tipped with poison or rotten blood to cause deadly wounds. Whether true or not, the fear grew. A month later, in July 1586, the settlers gave up. When Sir Francis Drake passed by with his ships, they left the island behind. Raleigh had spent everything chasing glory in the New World. Some say he poured in nearly $40,000, which would be worth millions today. But instead of gold or riches, all he got was disaster. Still, he wasn't ready to quit. The very next year, in 1587, he tried again. This time it was different. It wasn't just soldiers. There were 115 settlers, including women and children. It was supposed to be real community. The leader, John White, brought his daughter, Ella, and her husband, Ananus Dare. Their baby girl, Virginia, was born that same year. She was the first English child ever born in America. But not long after they arrived, White had to leave. England was preparing for war against Spain. The Spanish Armada was coming. Every ship was needed for defense. White begged for help, but his return was delayed again and again. It wasn't until August 1590, 3 years later, that he finally made it back. He stepped ashore on Roanoke on August 18th, the third birthday of his granddaughter, Virginia Dare. The island was silent. No people, no bodies, no buildings. All the houses were gone, carefully taken down and removed. The entire colony is just gone. There was no sign of struggle, no blood, no bones, just one word carved into a wooden post. Croatoan. And nearby on a tree 3 letters CROO. There was no cross or distress sign carved beside them. That had been the agreed symbol for danger. Its absence meant they had left willingly. White believed the settlers had gone to Croatan Island, south of Roanoke. That was where the Croatan tribe lived, and it was also the home of Montejo, the native ally who had stayed loyal to the English. He had even been baptized and named Lord of Roanoke by the English. White felt sure the colonists had gone to find safety with Mateo's people, but storms blocked his path. He was never able to reach Croatoan Island to confirm the theory, and just like that, the settlers were gone. No one ever saw them again. It wasn't just a fort that vanished. Families had disappeared. Among the 115 were 17 women and 9 children. These weren't soldiers. These were people trying to build homes. Their vanishing turned Roanoke into more than just a failed colony. It became a ghost story. The fate of Virginia Dare, the tiny girl born into hope, became a symbol of the mystery. Had they starved? Had they been attacked? Or had they simply joined the native tribes, marrying into their communities and leaving the English world behind? That last possibility made more sense than the myths that would come later. But it was never confirmed, and so the mystery only deepened. The first colony had already shown how badly things could go. In June 1586, when Lane murdered Winina during the fake peace meeting, everything changed. The chiefs, people fought back. Some English accounts even described poison arrows and infected wounds, making the war feel even more terrifying. When Lane's group eventually escaped with Drake's ships, they were lucky to survive. Yet even